When it comes to compliance, if it is not documented, then it does not exist. That is why it is very important to understand that NIST 800-171 and CMMC compliance is built on a foundation of documentation. This means you need the appropriate policies, standards, procedures, and other documentation that your organization is expected to have and maintain to be compliant. We have been writing cybersecurity documentation since 2005 and specifically NIST 800-171 documentation since 2016. We are recognized experts in the field of cybersecurity documentation, and our goal is for ComplianceForge clients to be both secure and compliant. The NIST 800-171 compliance program, which we call the NCP, is an editable set of cybersecurity documentation that contains the following: policies and standards, procedures, system security plan, plan of action and milestones, crosswalk mapping, third-party risk management, risk assessment, and other documentation templates that you need to successfully demonstrate compliance with NIST 800-171 and pass a CMMC assessment. The NCP is DIBCAC battle-tested, where this documentation has been successfully used by our clients to pass NIST 800-171 assessments. The NCP is written to be concise and understandable by non-technical individuals. There is no software to install. The NCP comes in editable Microsoft Word and Excel formats, so you can customize the documentation for your specific needs. If you can use Microsoft Word and Excel, you can edit the NCP. These policies and standards are written for you, so there are no blanks to fill in. This is professionally written documentation that addresses leading secure practices and establishes the basis for your customization efforts, since every organization has unique requirements, and that requires some level of customization on your behalf. The reality is that we've done the heavy lifting for you, and you just need to add customization for areas that only you would know, because it is specific to your business practices. Our goal is to make the NCP as close to the easy button as possible. The NCP is a bundle of multiple ComplianceForge products. At its core, the NCP contains editable policies and standards, procedures, system security plan, compliance references, and third-party risk management templates. To support these core components, there is a wealth of supplemental documentation. This includes valuable templates such as an incident response plan, plan of action and milestones, a policy-focused educational handout, cybersecurity roles and responsibilities, a scoping guide, data classification icons, a cybersecurity awareness training template, and many other supplemental forms and references. When you receive the NCP via secure file download, you will receive multiple documents that you can see here. Most of it is in the form of editable Microsoft Word and Excel documents, and the rest are PDF references. There is a folder that contains a risk assessment template and a supplemental documentation folder that contains things such as data handling guidelines, acceptable use, business impact analysis, and other templates. NIST 800-171 Rev 3 was released in May 2024, and there were significant changes from Rev 2 to Rev 3. Based on NIST's release notes for Rev 3, there are 21 insignificant changes that are editorial and have no change in the outcome of requirements. 43 significant changes that provide additional detail for the requirements. 15 minor changes that are editorial and have negligible change to the outcome of the requirements. 17 new requirements that were added with this revision, 33 withdrawn requirements, and 34 new organization-defined parameters. The following graphic is a summarized version of the differences between NIST 800-171 Rev 2, NIST 800-171 Alpha, NIST 800-171 Rev 3, and CMMC 2.0. As highlighted by Ron Ross from NIST, the official government requirements from the Office of Management and Budget, OMB, requires organizations to adopt the most current version of NIST documents 1 year after its release. From a NIST 800-171 perspective, this means that no later than May of 2025, NIST 800-171 Rev 3 will be expected to be used for contracts going forward, and at that time, NIST 800-171 Rev 2 will be deprecated. Therefore, it is essential for businesses to start the process of analyzing and implementing required controls to comply with NIST 800-171 Rev 3. When you look at the differences between NIST 800-171 Rev 2 and Rev 3, seeing is believing. The new content in Rev 3 is expected to be a heavy lift by many in the defense industrial base, but ComplianceForge's NCP is an affordable and editable collection of documentation templates that can help ease the transition to Rev 3. Hierarchical cybersecurity documentation is generally comprised of 6 core components. Specific to NIST 800-171 and CMMC, those controls are external to an organization and establish a minimum set of requirements that must be met. Internal to the organization, policies establish the high-level statement of management intent for a specific domain. Control objectives support policies and identify desired conditions that an organization must meet to satisfy controls. Supporting those control objectives, standards provide organization-specific, quantifiable requirements that must be met to be secure and compliant. Guidelines augment standards with recommended but not mandatory practices. Procedures operationalize the requirements by establishing how tasks are performed to meet those requirements established in standards and to meet controls. The NCP contains all of these components. We take documentation seriously, since building quality cybersecurity and data protection documentation is our specialty. We understand that words have specific meaning, and that is why we published the ComplianceForge reference model, which is also referred to as the Hierarchical Cybersecurity Governance Framework. This helps visually lay out how policies, control objectives, standards, guidelines, controls, procedures, risks, threats, and metrics interact. It is a blueprint for making comprehensive and scalable documentation that is also concise. Being concise is important, since when it comes to a third-party assessment, time is money. This is where well-written documentation can pay for itself by saving billable hours in an assessment. Poorly written documentation can cost you dearly in more ways than just non-compliance. The definitions we use are based on industry-recognized practices. You can download this diagram by visiting the Start Here tab at the top of the ComplianceForge website. There you will find this helpful guide on what right looks like when it comes to your organization's cybersecurity documentation, including industry definitions from NIST and other organizations. We have product examples for you to review so that you can see the level of detail and the professionalism that went into creating the NCP. To view the examples, just navigate to the NCP product page on the ComplianceForge website and scroll to the Examples section, where you will see examples of the policies and standards, procedures, SSP template, and more. The NCP is reasonably priced and is approximately 2% of the cost for a consultant or 6% of the cost of your internal staff to generate equivalent documentation. When you consider for your internal staff to generate comparable documentation to the NCP, it would take them an estimated 900 internal staff work hours, which equates to a cost of approximately $90,000 in staff-related expenses. This is about 9 to 18 months of development time where your staff would be diverted from other work. If you hire a consultant to generate equivalent documentation, it would take them an estimated 800 consultant work hours, which equates to a cost of approximately $227,500. This is about 4 to 12 months of development time for a contractor to provide you with the deliverable. We process most orders the same business day, so you can potentially start working with the NCP the same day you place your order. When you look at the costs associated with either hiring an external consultant to write cybersecurity documentation for you or tasking your internal staff to write it, the cost comparisons paint a clear picture that buying from ComplianceForge is the logical option. Compared to hiring a consultant, you can save months of wait time and tens of thousands of dollars. When compared to writing your own documentation, you can potentially save hundreds of work hours and the associated cost of lost productivity. Purchasing the NCP from ComplianceForge offers these fundamental advantages when compared to the other options for obtaining quality cybersecurity documentation. In addition, we also provide a subscription service for the NCP. This subscription service is designed to be a cost-effective method for existing NCP clients who have not skipped 1 or more years of a subscription to obtain product updates. Throughout the period of the subscription, you will receive the most current version of the NCP as it is released to address changes to NIST 800-171 and CMMC. An errata is provided with the update to indicate the changes from the previous version. The subscription entitles the purchaser to 12 months of updates to the NCP, and the method of delivery of the NCP is through email. Alongside the updates, an errata is included and describes the additions and changes in the latest version of the documentation. In this subscription, the updates are only applicable to the NCP. It does not include updates to other ComplianceForge products, as those are governed by the traditional product update process. The order process is very straightforward. We have a wide range of products, as well as discounted bundles that you can choose from. Once you identify what you would like to order, you include your company name and optional logo during the order process. You check out online with either a credit card or an invoice option. Once we process the order, you will receive the order files via a secure download link. You can also request a quote online, where you just select the Add to Quote option on the product or bundle page. We process most orders the same business day, so that means you can potentially start tailoring it the same day you place the order. If you have any product-related questions, please let us know. We are more than happy to help answer any questions you have.